Good afternoon, everybody. Eric Foster, founder of Common Sense by Eric Foster on Substack. I actually wanted to focus a little bit today on the question of men. Now, I'm not sure if you realized or noticed, but I am a man. And I am frustrated with the way that my fellow men in the men union are acting and behaving and functioning out here in these streets in 2026. There's a level of victimhood, a level of everybody's being mean to us. We can't get our way. Women have too many rights. We need to have, a bro culture, a male culture, a male domination. All of these things that are being touted by these, in my opinion, very weak, very sensitive, very ineffectual men out here in the world who believe that manliness and masculinity is all born based on how loud you can be, how many cuss words you can say, how rude you can be and discourteous and dismissive towards other people, and that's it. You know, as a friend of mine says, most of these so-called men in the brosphere or the manosphere wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. And it gets me to the point where, as a man, I don't have sympathy for this culture. I don't have sympathy for this feeling that somehow somebody is taking something from these weak little boys because nobody is taking anything from them. Let's just be real. Now, I'm 53 years old. I'm a father. I'm a two-time divorcee. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm someone who struggled with weight. I've not always been a self-confident man. I've struggled with how to engage women and date and connect and all of that stuff. But ultimately, that is the life journey. There is no ease in life. There is work, faith, treating people the right way, and trying to be a blessing into the lives of people that you touch. And then good things will come from that. This whole framework of disrespect for disrespect's sake, for over talking and yelling, and the, you've got the guys from in the MAGAverse, in the manosphere verse, who talk of, well, America was good when women didn't have the right to vote, or we didn't acknowledge that some men are gay or non-binary or what have you, and we could just have the Leave It to Beaver household, where the man is the man and the woman is the woman. Well, let me kind of explain a few things, because that time frame wasn't always good for the family. You had a lot of men during that time frame who were not responsible, good men, who were abusive, who cheated on their wife, who weren't engaged fathers, who were poor examples of what a man is supposed to be. and then permeating that down to their young men's sons and their daughters. So the old ways weren't necessarily the best ways. Now, it doesn't mean that there weren't some good things. I have to look at my grandparents on my father's side as a great example of a man who loved his wife and also was comfortable when she was right to let her lead and to roll with her. And they balanced off each other. But that didn't take away from his manhood. That didn't take away from him being a responsible father to my father and my three uncles, an involved pillar in his community, an uncle to his nieces and nephews, a brother to my uncle James, brother in law to my aunt Jane, and a son to his father. None of that took away from him. Hell, when I was a kid growing up, and I didn't know that my grandfather was dealing with both diabetes and congestive heart failure. But that man would not only would he come outside and play with me and my cousins when we would be over visiting, and he'd be in his suspenders and he had his corncob pipe, but he'd put that down and play soccer or play catch or throw the football with us. I didn't know that he was going through these issues. Now, my grandmother knew. He was very open and vulnerable and comfortable being himself with her. But of course, when he was with his grandkids, he was an involved grandfather. And so it pains, so I see that and I see what a man can be. That's a good example of a man from the old days. Now, in today's world, the role of man has evolved. The role of women has evolved. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That is a good thing. Life doesn't just stay the same. It's okay that things change. It's okay that things evolve. It's okay that people evolve. But ultimately, in this space where we have people who want to sit and say that that evolution is somehow interfering with the male culture or interfering with raising men or interfering with men being able to find wives and date women and get out of the isolation and all that other stuff. Here's my thought process to it. Suck it up, buttercup. Get off your ass and get out in the world. Go and be a part of activities. Learn how to be respectful. Learn how to engage with the world as it is today. Learn how to talk to women in ways that are fun, engaging, honest, sincere, and respectful. If you're interested, ask her out. If she says no, she says no. If that's the worst thing that happened to you, then that's just a normal day. Look, I asked a lot of women out when I was in my active dating mode in between my two marriages and before my first marriage and after my second marriage ended. If a woman said yes, great. Go out on a date, see what happens. If she said no, she said no. That's life. I mean, you don't just get to be able to control and have everything easy. There is nothing easy in this existence. Look, the last day that humanity had it easy was when Adam and Eve were still in the Garden of Eden before they got all in their feelings and decided, well, you know what? We know what God said, but we're going to do something different. And then they started blaming each other and blaming, Satan and just going all off the rails. But here's the reality, men, if you want to be leaders, learn how to lead. Talk to men who actually lead, accept the fact that it takes work, be willing to listen and accept things that you may not want to hear, but are truths that need to be told to you so you can be a better person. Get out of your own way and grow. That's how you become a better man. That's how you achieve things. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that my own personal life is perfect. Like I say, I'm a two-time divorcee. There were great times in both marriages, but unfortunately, neither of those marriages worked. I dated a lot of great women in my life. Those didn't work either. That's life. It happens. I choose to focus on friends, family, work, my spiritual walk in faith with Jesus. That's a choice I've made. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing bad with that. It's just life. And you live, you do, you try to help make people's lives better around you. People are not here to serve you. People are not here to placate your feelings. People are not here to make you feel good. You're here to be a blessing on to other people, and other people then will be blessings onto you. Give and serve, and ye will receive. Not, why isn't the world easy for me? Why aren't women just saying yes to me? Why don't I have control of my household? Why do I have to make compromise? Why do I have to respect LGBTQ members of the country? Why do I have to, have things function differently than what I saw my grandfather have? Because shit changes. The world doesn't stay the same. Get over it. Grow the fuck up. Live. Get up. Go to work. Function. Find activities. Find opportunities. Find ways to do things to be a better person. But stop your bitching and whining and complaining. Stop begging for somebody to make life easy for you. Take the responsibility. Oh, and one other thing that I think is really important, when you mess up, own it, because you mess up, you're a human being. We're not perfect. Before today is over, I'm probably going to mess up 5 more times. And that's just life. But I will own my mess up, and I'm using politically correct terms. It's okay to be politically correct. You know what? If you don't like it, F you and the horse you rode in on, because I'm making that choice. That's okay for me. You don't have to like it, but own your mistakes, own your failures. When you fall short, when you disappoint somebody, own it. Don't sit here and act like, oh, well, it wasn't me. It's this, it's that, it's the world, it's society. Everybody's treating me bad. Nobody's treating you bad. Nobody's trying to stop you from anything. Nobody's trying to prevent you from anything. Get off your butt, grow up, and find your path to be a better human being. But that's on you. When I see the shows and I see the experts talking about the male crisis and the loneliness of men and, how do we get our men back to being men? You know what, man? And I say this as a man, that's on you. Get off your ass and get yourself back in the game. No one is stopping you from being in the game. No one put you in crisis. You put yourself in crisis. And I'm tired of babying other men. It's time to stop. Get dressed, wash up, try to look presentable, wear a suit and tie. Stop wearing pants with your pants dragging and not wearing a belt and all this other. Grow up and live. It's a lot being a father of a son who died when he was 14 and a half through a drowning accident. My only biological son. It's a lot being a two-time cancer survivor, still dealing with pain to this day. I was a terminal cancer survivor. I still deal with pain, even though, praise Jesus, the cancer has never returned since the last time it returned in 2008. I still live with pain on a daily basis, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm living the life that God has given me. I'm getting up every day and trying to make a difference. You need to do the same thing. Get up off your ass and try to make a difference. I've loved being married. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I doubt I'll get married again. I'm not trying to get married again. I made that choice, but I'm not in my feelings and waddling and depressed and saying, oh, women are bad or anything like this. If it was to happen again, it would happen again and I would try it again. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But I'm as equal to fault for why I'm not married as what took place with both of my wives. In some instances, more. I own my own failings. I'm not sitting here blaming anybody. Stop blaming people. Stop listening to the folks who tell you, oh, well, this world would be so much better if we just went to a Gilead like the Handmaid's Tale, where women were servants or had specific roles, or if women didn't have the right to vote, or all this other bullshit. You want to be better. You want to be the leaders in your home. You want to be the ones who gain respect of your family and your community. Then do the fucking work to get there and understand it takes work. That's life. You've been working and struggling every day since the day you were born. The last day life was easy was when you were in your mom's stomach before you were born. She took care of everything. You was just up in there. Once you came out, it was a fight. And you've been fighting your whole life, but that's okay. That's life. Accept it, embrace it, get off your ass, stop whining and complaining. But also, if you need help, say you're dealing with depression or you're dealing with any sort of other mental health challenge, get help. Don't sit here and self medicate. I'm manic depressive with bipolar tendencies. I take medicine for it on a daily basis. I've been in counseling most of the time since diagnosis, and my spiritual walk with Christ has been consistent and stronger since, really starting with first the cancer diagnosis, but then since the understanding of my mental health challenges. But it's okay to be honest. It's okay to embrace that fact and get help. It's okay to be honest and tell people about it. You may not want to, but it's okay. But don't sit here and blame other people. Don't sit here and not get treatment, not go to the doctor when you're sick, become a baby when you get sick. Stop all of that. Men, if you want to change the way your life is going, the way people are seeing you, the way you're embraced, do the work. If anything that I can pass on as a two-time cancer survivor, as a two-time divorcee, as a father to two sons, one of whom my only biological son is deceased, it's that you have to do the work no matter what. To work to survive, to work to overcome, to work to be a parent, to work to be a husband, to work to be a brother, to work to be a son, the work to be a cousin, an uncle, a friend, a fraternity brother, whatever it is, a part of society, a part of the workforce, whatever it is, you've got to do the work. Man, you can do it. But you have so many people telling you, well, there's these reasons why you're struggling or you can't. You can. And so while I have no sympathy for you if you sit on the couch, if you sit in your feelings, if you sit on YouTube and you're watching all these things that take away from you getting up off your butt and becoming a part of the world, I also will support you when you get off your ass and take proactive steps to fix and correct what's going on to make yourself a better person. So, men, one man to another, stop complaining, stop being in your feelings. Manosphere, guys, start telling these guys that if they want things to be better, they have to get the fuck up and start making it better. They have to stop being little bitches and put in the work. They have to stop being disrespectful and and assholes and unwilling to admit failures or mistakes. They have to be better people, and that requires work. And there is no shortcut to it. Look, I struggled with weight most of my life. There have been times I've been down and slender, but it took me putting in the work. And there have been times when I've been fat and obese, and that also took work. Right now, I'm kind of tweener, trending down, but if I don't put in the work, it's not going to get any better. It's nobody else's fault. It's on me. It's on you. Do your job, know your role, and get to work. This is Eric Foster from Common Sense by Eric Foster. This is kind of the first of my own segment where I just kind of talk from my own perspective versus the other work that I do with the other shows that I have that are linked to Common Sense by Eric Foster. But sometimes we have to have some honest conversations, and that's what I'll try to do and try to have here. I'm sorry, go green, go white. I'm a Spartan as well. But, please, man, put in the work, do the work. You can be better. It's on you.